everybody, ShannonMiller here from Clean Freaks University. I am talking to all my fellow cleaning business owners. Earn your way to your first 100K within your first year by using the methods that I teach inside of the Pricing Blueprint Masterclass. It covers regular maintenance cleanings, top to bottom deluxe cleanings, and move out cleanings. See you there.
It's no big deal. Welcome back, Miss Jamie.
That's who I am. Hi.
Jamie. Hi. Long time no see, right? Today,
different.
yeah, definitely. I love that red. It looks great on you. Today I want to talk about, should cleaners or you as a cleaning business owner expect a Christmas bonus and or a tip? By now, you guys have probably all heard about Heather Nielsen, who was a house cleaner who assaulted her 83-year-old client, which is a no-no. And she stole from her because the 83-year-old client didn't give a Christmas bonus / tip. And it is all over the news. So the first harmful thing this does for our industry is the fact that, you know, we already have a hard enough time with transparency and being honest and having integrity. And then you have unscrupulous individuals like this who do these entitlement moves, is what I called it. So, Jamie, what's your thoughts on tipping in general and Christmas bonuses and all that stuff? What's your thought on that?
I believe that we should already, we're not the cheapest people to, I feel like it's therapy. Like this is a small price to pay for therapy to help, somebody to come into your home. So it's not expected on our end. And if it happens, that's awesome. That's
right.
Great. I celebrate it. But it's not expected. And I just want to say real quick that lady, what was it, Heather
Nielsen.
Nielsen, yeah, in Florida.
In Florida.
Yeah, I'm going to call you out because you have made me so angry amongst, I'm sure, thousands of other cleaning business owners to have tarnished that's just so. It's an elderly person, and they're sometimes these elderly people are on a fixed income,
right.
or they're living off of their Social Security or whatever the case may be. And for you to just expect, I've seen it in the groups, people just really boo-hooing a lot around Christmas time. Last year I got a bonus, this year I did not. And it was just, we should, as a whole industry, should be charging enough to not have to expect any tip.
Right. I concur 1,000%. And this is what it says. Heather Nielsen, 29. Oh, here, I'll start at the beginning. I apologize. A 29-year-old, and this is from the New York Post. Better give them snaps where it's due. 29-year-old Florida housekeeper robbed and assaulted her 83-year-old employer on Christmas Eve when the elderly woman said she couldn't afford to pay her once trusted worker a holiday bonus. Heather became irate when her initial request for a $500 bonus, that's a lot, was rejected by her octogenarian boss and decided to take what she wanted anyway. She responded by physically wrenching the victim's checkbook from her hand, stealing a check from the checkbook, and then, I guess, in an effort to ruin other people's Christmases as well, stole Christmas cards that were set to be mailed out containing checks obviously addressed to others. So this is wrong on so many levels, and you should never expect a tip. Tip is to ensure promptness. That's actually what it means. Tipping became a way of earning extra money because for a long time when you were a server and a bartender, I started waiting tables when server wage was like $2.21 or something like that an hour. And it was just so that you could, make money doing what you were doing and what you love. This reflects poorly on us as an industry as a whole. And I agree with Jamie 1,000%. If you're not charging enough, and to begin with, and you shouldn't expect a bonus. Now, there's a lot missing to the story. We don't really know what transpired. Maybe she was more of a housekeeper in her defense. Maybe she was an errand runner and maybe she assisted with other duties. And that was the agreement. It doesn't say, it just says housekeeper because we always get the slack. It's always the housekeeper's fault, right?
Yeah, so.
But on the same level, to come out and blatantly ask for a $500 Christmas bonus is ridiculous.
And they're gonna be like, oh, I can't do that. I'm sorry, honey. It's been tough this year.
Right.
And you hit her, an 83-year-old lady,
Awful.
and take her check. And what are you writing it in front of her? Like, I'm taking this
Basically,
anyway.
she
I
took the
will
check
say
and she
that I
wrote it.
have looked at her reviews. Of course, this first when as soon as you posted that in the Maids Network, I even posted on there. I said, did anybody else go run and look to see if Heather was in any of these groups?
Thankfully, she wasn't.
She was not in this group. However, her business name has came up. So I looked at her business page, which she has one. And this is not her first incident, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, sucks.
She has, from back in August, she has somebody putting on Facebook saying, do not trust this person. Make sure you guys are reading your reviews. That's a good thing to say. Make sure you're reading people's reviews because it can really tell a lot about that individual and how their businesses ran, what their company's about. But whenever it comes to tipping, you guys, I just see so much like entitlement anymore. You're not entitled. There's nothing worse than going to somebody's home and cleaning and mad about the fact that you're cleaning because you took the job in a moment of desperation for peanuts.
Right.
You know what? That's not, if you want to be a real cleaning business owner, there has to be enough funds to not only pay yourself, but to run the whole business and making sure that you're able to pay your rent, your car payments, etc., etc., etc. I promise you, these clients, don't fill them up in the moment of desperation. Just, I seen that the other day too. Let your schedule fill with people that will value you, that look at you, and you know, if they decided not to tip, I've had clients for several years, and not all of them tip. There's just not in them. It's just,
Well, allegedly, Heather Nelson, wrote a check for $1,400. That's circumstantial. There hasn't been proved. So she demanded a $500 Christmas bonus, didn't get it, got mad, took the checkbook. This is all speculation. Took the checkbook from the homeowner's hand and then subsequently ripped out a check. I don't know if she wrote the check in front of the person or took it home and wrote the check. And then she wrote herself a check for $1,400. And then it gets even better. She used the victim's credit card to pay her rent and make other purchases. So,
rent with credit card.
I a lot of that stuff's online in the bigger cities. You can just slide a card through and do your thing. It actually shows a picture of this woman's wrist in the New York Post. And it shows her being arrested. Obviously, it's not the pert walk, but she's arrested and there's questioning going on. And then
she was caught.
Yeah, she was caught. So
she was caught on camera.
This person is no longer in our industry. I pray that she's not allowed back in our industry, especially if this is a history with her. There might be something wrong with her. I'm not sure, but please don't take it to this extreme. And this comes down to communication as well. Communicating, charging, and charging your worth, knowing what the real cost of running a legitimate business are. All of these are attributes to having smooth running shifts. Don't hurt somebody because you feel entitled to more money and more compensation. If you feel resentful when you're doing your cleaning jobs, it's time for you to politely let them go or hold on to them until you find a newer, higher paying customer, which is what I always suggest you do in the pricing, not the pricing blueprint masterclass, the boot camp, the price increase boot camp class that I offer. And you should be giving price increases at least annually so stuff like this doesn't happen. There's clearly more to this story than we're being told. We're just being shot because it's, it's a glory post, right? They're showing
Shocking.
the
That's
risk.
shocking.
It is shocking.
And just total disgust.
Right.
Total disgust over that.
It should never be violent, ever. There should be, legal, that's what legal recourse is for. I've sued several dozen customers in the past, not because I wanted to, but because, they felt that they were going to get one thing when in actuality they got something else. And it just becomes this whole, you don't deserve this, so I'm going to take it back. And we're not here to talk about that. We're
Right.
talking about the fact that you need to charge enough money so stuff like this doesn't happen. You said that she had a history of doing this in the past, so I'm wondering, was it the same type of deal, assault and battery, and then theft?
Not an assault or battery, but at the home, she stole money, she stole checks, something like that. I don't want to, but if you go to her Facebook, I'm sorry, I'm going to call her out because that it just is so
Disgusting.
yeah, right? And let's see here. Well, I can't, I can't remember where I've seen it, but it was, it started off really good. And then, 5-star review, not a lot of in-depth thing, but then somebody posted that do not hire this person. She's a thief of some sort of another. I just skimmed it, but like I said, as soon as you posted that, I of course went and made sure that she wasn't in our group. And then I wanted to see if she happened to be in anyone else's group. And I won't say which group she is, but at least her company was. So I went and looked, and yeah, there it is. So yeah,
That's why we're having this conversation about bonuses and tips. And there is a difference between bonuses and tips. For us, a tip is to ensure promptness, or you're just wanting to give a little extra. And it's not required. We always say it's not required. We do say that if you're interested in doing that, we will help you participate in the act should you choose to do it, but it's never required. And a bonus is typically given out when there's one particular cleaner who cleans for the whole year, and that house is usually considered a bonus at that point. It's on above and beyond, and I usually try to encourage cash transactions. I really don't want to be involved and have the man tax the extra gratis that you're getting. But yeah, there's a difference between a tip and a bonus. And then setting clear expectations with your staff or you as the cleaning business owner, that if you, if you're working in a team, and I've had this happen before when I worked in teams, is the first girl would get all the gear into the house first because she knew that the house tipped, and she would snatch the tip because it was always in cash, shove it in her apron, and the other person would be new or newer and didn't know because this person repeated the same thing over and over again until one day the client had asked them, hey, are you guys, you're getting that tip? And they're like, what are you talking about? I never got a tip. So then it becomes this whole friction thing on your crew. So then it can become really caustic and you have to nip it in the bud. So you had to have a tipping policy in place. And then cash bonuses are king. So I like to have cash tips be given. Sometimes it's not
And there's a reason why, because
right.
whenever we run payroll, the first thing
You get
that my
taxed.
accountant, it's like, oh, I hate tips.
Right.
And I get it because you know what? They're get, I get, so whenever it goes onto a credit card, I have to put it in my, whatever, but it automatically pulls that. I try to hold back 30% on, I do it a little different, but it takes that 30% right off of there.
Right.
So and then I put it into their payroll account, and then you're getting tipped again. So cash is king, like you said, Shannon.
The Structure, Scale, and Profit Cleaning Business Academy is the best investment that I made in my business. I truly feel that when it comes to being a business owner, anyone can start a business, but it's not easy to maintain that business. If you do not have structures in place, it will fall. ShannonMiller is a godsend. My business nearly ran itself, well, I nearly ran my business into the ground due to not knowing a lot of things, and thank God for Shannon because she was able to pull me out of the hole, and we are back on the road to recovery, and I couldn't be more excited. I'm so happy to be heading in the direction that we are. Thank you, Shannon.
Recording in progress. Welcome, everyone. I'm joined with Miss Jamie, who I haven't seen in like a very long time.
Man,
For those of you who
really?
don't know, we film like several sessions in one day. So I just literally saw her a half hour ago. Today we're going to talk about, should influencers get free cleanings in exchange for some sort of reciprocity? Jamie, give me your thoughts.
No, I think that there needs to be some clear boundaries. I don't think they should get free cleanings.
I don't think influencers should get anything for free. They get a lot of product for free from large corporations. They
Right.
get a lot of meals for free from larger corporation franchises. I've seen good and bad with it. But as far as like getting free cleanings, and I'll give you a shout out, really isn't worth the ROI that you're going to get out of it, because you really don't know if this influencer is going to be your demographic. It could just be, I'm an influencer because I like sunglasses, or I'm an influencer because I do that special dance, or I'm an influencer because I like Disneyland, right? It's just
Right. No, I have to agree with you. And um you're talking about like the influencer going into somebody's home.
Hey, what's going on, Shannon? My name is Mike. This is my brother Steve, and we own S&M Cleaning Solutions. And we just want to tell you thank you from the bottom of our hearts. The 30-day sprint was amazing, and you really helped out our company a lot. Thank you.
And saying, hey, if I get to record here, it'll be for free.
No, I'm talking
Or-
about an influencer lives in your service area, calls you up and says, "I need to have a deep cleaning. I am so and so. I want to know if you're going to want to trade me giving you a shout out to my, 600,000 followers, and you give me a free deep cleaning." You have to decide whether that's going to be worth it to you or not. In my opinion, I don't. I think that there should be some sort of money exchange where they pay for part of it. So maybe you give them the wholesale price of cleaning if you want to do it. You don't have to do anything.
Right. And I agree with you totally. And I know quite a few influencers. Um, there's the crazy cleaning lady, 2022 or something like that. Her name's Samantha. There
Samantha
is,
Manchuko, right?
yeah,
I'm probably butchering her
just
last.
love her.
Samantha, I'm
And
sorry.
yeah, we probably butchered your name, but Amber.
Mhm.
She does a lot of e-cloth things. And Nicole with Cast Out Cleaners, who's the creator, inventor of the 5-in-1 cleaner that we
Right.
now use in our company.
So hypothetically speaking, if one of these guys lived in your service area and called you up and said, I have X amount of followers, I'm interested in doing a trade, you give me a deep cleaning and I'll give you a shout out. Do you think that's worth it?
No, no,
I don't.
I still believe that there needs to be some sort of money yeah, no, I don't agree with that. I think that I don't even know that, I'm not really well versed with influencers. However, I mean, friend wise, yes, but whenever it comes to their business, I know, um, they're still bidding on these jobs. I know that they are, they're still bidding on their jobs and making them sign waivers about, they have their clear boundaries set up.
Right.
Like, but the people that I've listed, I know that they're still charging.
Right.
So I would think that would be weird. I don't know. I just think that would be weird to do to say, hey, I'm this big influencer in the cleaning business, and today's your lucky day. If you let me,
If I let you in my house to clean up my dirt, I might give you a shout out. So
yeah,
let's look at this a little further. What about if the influencer was a sports figure or someone prominent like a movie star and or another type of athlete? How would you feel about them asking you for a free cleaning? Because that's a different type of influencer.
right. No, I still, it just kind of falls back
Mm-hmm.
to, this is the way I would think of it as, a lot of realtors will,
Mm-hmm.
you think, oh, they're gonna bring in a lot more money for me because, uh, you know, I'm gonna
They're
use
the first.
you. Yeah, and it never really works out like that. Yeah, sure, my name, my business name gets tossed around a lot with the realtors because, um, but no, there's got to be some sort of transactional
Right.
something. And again, there still would have to be some sort of contract dialed
Right.
up, and even if it's specific to that particular client, something needs to be, drawn up on that as
Oh,
far
definitely. Um,
as contracts. Yeah.
anytime you trade with anybody, it should not be verbal, because if you leave it open-ended, then you end up getting the short end of the stick all the time. And sometimes, and you and I were talking about before we got on the show how I did some community outreach, which we're not going to discuss here. We can discuss on another show, but it's sometimes those things have to happen. So I took a risk on this individual. Hopefully he'll give me back some of that reciprocity, and it will be a good thing, right? He ended up winning in the end because it was way more sanitary than than when I first got it. But so as far as like a sports figure, an actor, actress, any other in prominent person that we hold in high regard. I don't hold any of those people in high regard, but other people might. Um, as far as doing that, I think it's pretty ballsy to ask another business, hey, can I get something for free because I'm this influencer and I have this huge audience and I think that you would benefit from it. So if you do um want to do this because you are totally want to do this for this person because you think it's going to be a good fit, then there should be some key factors to consider before offering your free services. You could actually do a marketing campaign where you're reaching out to influencers in your area, but then it's a gray area because we know home addresses, and then it could be considered stalking. So don't go down that road, but make sure that you're offering, like, I would not offer a deep cleaning to an influencer. I would just give them regular maintenance
Right.
with the
Right.
stipulation that they gave you a credit card, a secure, and that they paid a small wholesale price for something. I wouldn't give it to them entirely free. And then I would bullet point what you're going to get out of it. If you don't bullet point, it leaves too much to chance. And the influencers got their house clean. They're not going to think about you twice. They're going to go on to the next shiny object. And I'm not saying they're all that way, but it sometimes can be that way. And then watching out for red flags in these arrangements. So if you are getting, if you've done one thing, because usually it's the cleaning business owner who has to do it first before we're the one taking the chance. And if they say they're going to do it by a certain deadline, because you would have to have a date, and they don't do it, you can call them out, but then it becomes this whole thing on social media. But I certainly would never do business with them again. They'd be 86 for life. And then having clear boundaries and expectations. So a lot of times when people are not familiar with the cleaning industry, and we've all had this happen, is showing up. Well, you're on the schedule to show up. You show up and there's no access to the building. Oh yeah, I went to France. Nobody's home. Right?
Right.
Dude, we traded. My crew's standing at your door. There's no one to let us in. Oh, I'm really sorry. I'm on the French Riviera. I gotta go.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, it sucked. So make